Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you drive a car, then this video is a must-watch for you. Please hit subscribe and let's dive in. Here is the expanded list of common car dashboard warning indicators with additional details and DIY troubleshooting suggestions. Remember that while some issues can be addressed with simple DIY steps, others, especially those affecting safety such as brakes or airbags, may require a professional mechanic's diagnosis. Always consult your vehicle's owner's manual for model-specific information. Check engine light, also known as the malfunction indicator lamp or MIL. This light can illuminate due to a range of issues from a loose gas cap to engine misfires, faulty oxygen sensors or emissions control problems. Some systems store error codes that can be read with an OBD2 scanner. DIY solutions. Inspect the gas cap. Make sure it's tightened properly. A loose or damaged gas cap is a common trigger. Use an OBD2 scanner. Purchase or borrow a scanner to read the error codes. This can help pinpoint the problem area. Visual inspection. Check for obvious signs of damage or disconnections in wiring and hoses near the engine. Battery warning light. This light indicates that the charging system isn't functioning as it should. This could be due to the battery itself, the alternator, or the voltage regulator. DIY solutions. Check battery terminals. Ensure the terminals are clean and securely connected. Corrosion can impede proper contact. Test battery voltage. Using a multimeter, check that your battery reads around 12.6 volts when the engine is off and about 13.7 to 14.7 volts when running. Inspect the alternator belt. A loose or worn belt can affect alternator performance. Tighten or replace as needed. Oil pressure warning light. This light indicates low oil pressure, which can quickly lead to engine damage if not addressed. It might result from low oil levels, a failing oil pump, or clogged oil passages. DIY solutions. Check the oil level. With the engine off and cool, use the dipstick to ensure oil is within the recommended range. Look for leaks, inspect under the car and around the engine for signs of oil leakage. Listen for engine noises. A knocking sound may indicate that oil isn't circulating properly. If the light stays on, stop driving immediately to prevent severe damage. The coolant temperature warning light signals that the engine is running hotter than normal. Overheating can be caused by low coolant, a malfunctioning thermostat, or issues with the radiator. So what can you do about it? Well, here are a few DIY solutions. First, check the coolant levels. Once the engine has cooled down, inspect the coolant reservoir and top up if necessary. Next, inspect the hoses and radiator. Look for any leaks, cracks, or blockages that might impede coolant flow. Finally, if overheating recurs, the thermostat may be stuck closed. Replacement is often within a skilled DIYer's ability, but it's always good to consult a repair manual for your specific model. The brake system warning light can indicate several issues, including low brake fluid, worn pads, or a malfunction within the braking system itself. On some vehicles, it also signals that the parking brake is engaged. Here are some DIY solutions you can try. First, inspect the brake fluid. Check the fluid reservoir. If levels are low, top up with the recommended type. Next, examine the brake pads. With proper safety precautions and the right tools, remove the wheels to inspect the thickness of the brake pads. Lastly, ensure the parking brake is fully released. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. The ABS, or anti-lock braking system, warning light illuminates when there's a fault in the ABS. Even if normal braking is available, the anti-lock function may not operate during heavy braking. Here are some steps you can take. First, check the fuses and wiring. Locate the ABS fuse in your fuse box and inspect for any obvious wiring damage near the wheel speed sensors. Next, clean the sensors. Sometimes dirt or debris can affect the sensors at each wheel. Carefully clean them following your vehicle's guidelines. It's important to note that ABS issues can be complex. If these steps don't resolve the problem, professional diagnostics are advised. The tire pressure monitoring system, or TPMS Light, warns you when one or more tires are significantly underinflated, which can affect both handling and fuel efficiency. Now, what can you do about it? First, manually check tire pressure. Use a reliable tire gauge to check each tire against the recommended pressure found in your owner's manual or on the driver's door jamb. Next, inflate the tires to the correct pressure. If low pressure persists, inspect for slow leaks by looking for punctures or damaged valve stems. And finally, reset the TPMS. Some vehicles require a manual reset of the system after inflation, so consult your manual for the steps. The airbag warning light indicates a malfunction in the airbag system, which may prevent airbags from deploying properly during a collision. To troubleshoot, first check the seatbelt buckles and connectors. Sometimes a simple electrical connection issue in the buckles or wiring in the seats can trigger the light. Next, inspect the fuses. Locate and check the fuses related to the airbag system. However, a word of caution: airbag systems are safety critical. If the light remains on after these basic checks, it's best to have a professional diagnose and repair the issue. The fuel warning light is typically a low fuel indicator alerting you to refuel soon. The solution here is generally straightforward: refuel promptly by visiting a gas station when the warning appears. However, if the light behaves erratically, for example, coming on when fuel is adequate, there could be a sensor malfunction requiring professional attention. The power steering warning light suggests a problem with the power steering system, which might be due to low fluid levels or a failing power steering pump. DIY solutions. First, check the power steering fluid. With the engine cool, inspect the fluid reservoir and top up if necessary with the correct fluid type. Next, inspect the belt. Ensure the belt driving the power steering pump is intact, tight, and not worn. Finally, test the steering. If the steering becomes heavy or unusual noises are heard, minimize driving and get a professional inspection. The transmission temperature warning light signals that the transmission is operating at a higher temperature than normal. Overheating can result from heavy towing, low transmission fluid, or internal issues. DIY solutions. Start by checking the transmission fluid. When the engine is warm but not hot, check the fluid level and condition. Low or discolored fluid may need to be topped up or replaced. Then examine the cooling system. Some vehicles have a separate transmission cooler, so ensure it's not obstructed or damaged. Lastly, reduce the load. If you're towing or driving under heavy loads, give the transmission a rest to cool down. The traction control or stability control light may illuminate when the traction or stability control system is actively engaged, often on slippery roads or when there is a fault in the system. DIY solutions. First, perform a tire inspection. Ensure all tires are properly inflated and free of damage. Then try to reset the system. In some vehicles, disconnecting the battery for a few minutes resets the electronic systems. Check your manual before attempting this. Lastly, consider sensor cleaning. Occasionally, wheel sensors can get dirty. Clean them carefully, but if the light remains, professional diagnostics may be required. Glow plug warning light for diesel vehicles only. This light indicates that the glow plugs are either warming up for a cold start or that there's an issue with the glow plug system. For DIY solutions, first, wait before starting. On a cold day, allow the glow plug light to complete its cycle before starting the engine. Next, inspect fuses and relays by checking the related fuses and relays in the fuse box. Finally, listen for irregularities. If the light remains on or you notice extended cranking, it may be time to check the glow plugs with a multimeter or seek a professional evaluation. Seatbelt reminder light. This alerts you that one or more seatbelts are not fastened. This reminder often comes with an audible chime. For DIY solutions, check all buckles. Make sure every seatbelt is securely latched, including those in the rear seats. Inspect for obstructions and ensure nothing, like loose objects, is interfering with the seatbelt sensor in the buckle. If a specific seat sensor appears faulty and you're comfortable with minor electrical work, inspect the wiring under the seat, referring to your vehicle's service manual. Door Ajar warning light. This indicates that one or more doors, including the hood or trunk, are not fully closed. For DIY solutions, physically check all doors. Verify that every door, including the trunk and hood, is securely closed. Inspect door sensors, as sometimes the sensor or its wiring, usually located near the latch, can become dirty or misaligned. Clean the sensor area gently and check for loose connections. Test each door individually. If the light persists, open and close each door to identify which one is triggering the alert. Additional tips for DIY troubleshooting. Safety first. Always ensure the vehicle is parked, the engine is cool where applicable, and the keys are removed before performing any checks. Consult the manual. Your vehicle's owner's manual contains specific information and diagrams that can guide you through troubleshooting steps. Invest in basic tools. A quality OBD2 scanner, multimeter, tire gauge, and basic hand tools can be very useful for DIY diagnostics. Know when to stop if you're ever unsure, or if a warning light indicates a potential safety hazard like brakes or airbags. It's best to have a professional mechanic perform a more thorough diagnostic. By following these detailed steps and DIY tips, you can often address minor issues yourself, or at least gather valuable information before seeking professional help.